Welcome back. This is Revolver's FTH 202, Week 5, Assignment 5. My name is Michael Vincent, and this will be my last assignment for the Revolvers. So this will be done in 3 different parts. Part 1 will be inspecting the areas for the health of your Revolver. Part 2 will be the 10 different learning areas that pertain to me. And part 3 will be the unique features of a double action. So let's get into it. Here's the Revolver we will be using. As you see, it is empty. There's nothing in the cylinder, so it is good to go. We will also be using these snap caps. So we are ready to rock and roll. Okay, so first we will be inspecting checking the health of your rifle, pretty much going through your safety checks. You want to make sure that your cylinder is turning, and you want to do this in single action mode first. And it doesn't help to. And you also want to make sure it is locking at the end of each turn. That's ensuring that your cylinder stop is fully operational, and your hand is working when you turn. Okay. Now I'm going to do 3 double action, and I'm also checking to make sure that as it's turning, your hand is working correctly, and your cylinder stop is also working correctly. Okay. Now we want to check your loading and unloading, the loading and extracting. Okay. You have all your stack caps loaded in, and the same thing. And now we're going to do okay. It is locking for each one. All right. Looks good. Now we're going to check your extractions. Okay, they're all coming out with ease. Okay. They all came out with ease. Put those to the side. Then you want to check your visual inspection, checking for rust, any bulging, anything with your bore, any rust in your bore, any dents, dings, anything. And that completes part 1 for the general health of the Revolver. Of course, the Revolver is new, so there is nothing visually wrong with this. There's no rust in the cylinders. Everything is smooth, and it sounds good. Feels good. Next, part 2, the 10 different areas. 10 different areas that I've learned or that were a particular interest to me. First, you have to, let me see. The original Revolvers were produced around the early 1800s. They were wheel locks, and that was pretty much your first Revolvers. Second one was the pretty much the evolution of the bullet and how it pertained to revolvers. Started with the flintlocks. Some of them did have multiple barrels, but they were unreliable, so they really were not useful or accurate. Then you had your percussion caps. Revolvers started to become more reliable because they were less likely to be affected by the elements. Well, of course, then you had your rimless and centerfire. This is a centerfire Revolver. Your first single action came around, that was number 2. Number 3, the first single action Revolvers were around 1818. That was interesting. Learned something new there. Your double actions came around 1851, and hammerless around 1887. So you had your number 5 was your how the single action and double action loads, how they load. Of course, they load differently. Your double actions usually have your arm, your cylinder that comes out like this. Your single actions have a door. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but you have your door that opens up here, and you load and unload that way. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Then we have your cylinder gap and your end shake. I thought that those were how you measure those. And the cylinder gap is just right here. I do not have any feeler gauges but I will be getting those soon. Let's see, your headspace gauges. Measuring your or ensuring that your headspace gauges, your go and no-go gauges for that was interesting to me. That was one of the areas that I learned. Let's see. How oversized parts, just bulges in your material, can affect your trigger pull. I thought that was pretty interesting. And your trigger pull and number 10, your trigger pull itself and the springs and how they can affect your trigger pull. I still do have the other springs that I put in from the spring kit that was supplied. I am going to leave it like that because I like the ease of the trigger for it. Number 3, unique features to a double action. So, number 1, of course, your double actions can go in single action or double action. One thing that I found interesting that makes that possible is your hand and your double action sear. Of course, a sear, which is in your single action, would be considered a pawl, but your double action, the sear is pretty much. Your double action sear is pretty much what makes your double action, which means you can use your finger to cycle through instead of having to pull your trigger back every time. Let me see. I already mentioned use the hand instead of a paw. Your hand also works in conjunction with your trigger and your double action sear to cycle that, and also spin your cylinder and keep everything aligned and in sync. And your extractor, one thing you do not have on that I noticed you didn't have on a single action, is your extractor. Most single action weapons, you cannot pull the cylinder out, at least not with ease, to reload. You have to reload one at a time. With your double actions, you can just open it up and load all 6 at the same time and eject all 6 at the same time, which is one feature that's unique to the double action and to the double action. And I believe that is it. I hope you enjoyed. I had fun in this class. I did learn something new, and I got a new gun out of it. So that is, I'm very excited about that. And I still haven't gotten it to the range yet, but I plan to get it to the range soon and test it out. Thank you. It's been fun. And until next time, bye-bye.